Welcome to MasterBiz, construction management software designed especially for contractors, builders, and subcontractors and their businesses. After installing and opening the software the first time, we'll need to create a password to use when opening the software in the future. We then need to set up our company or business in the system, including details such as name, data file location, license number, address, phone numbers, email address, web address, and tax year start month. After saving this information, MasterBiz creates a general overhead account that is displayed in the project area with project number 000. All general overhead for our company should from now on be entered into this general overhead account. Now let's get familiar with the main screen. We'll continue using the same company, but with a project already loaded. I'll click on Business Details and change the path to a folder with an existing project. We can see the project John Thomas with number 101. Directly below, in the Ledger section, shows the itemized income and expenses for this project. Expense records are supplies, materials, and labor. These income and expense records are summarized in the upper right balance panel for the project. The overall balance shows positive, indicating good cash flow. To the right of that is the balance summary for all displayed projects. Here, overhead is also displayed, and the monthly and daily average income and expenses since the inception of the company. Let's take a look at the project hierarchy. Every project has a bill book and a ledger. The ledger reflects the itemized income and expenses of the project. The bill book controls and records the scope of work, progress on the work, payments from the client, invoicing for future payments, and change orders. The bill book can be opened from the Project Bill Book button or the Project Details window. I'll update recent work progress on fire sprinklers and roofing. See that the billing amount is updated with the new amount we should charge the customer. In addition, we should issue an invoice to the customer for the new amount. This invoice amount is now displayed in the far right of the project's ledger panel as a debt that should be collected and entered into the ledger as income when payment is received. It can also be seen on the Debt Report by clicking the Debt Report button. Suppose time goes by, work is progressing, and we again need to update the bill book on progress and issue another invoice to the client. MasterBiz will alert us that a previous unpaid invoice exists. We can choose to delete the unpaid invoice and create a new invoice containing both the previous and the new charges, or we can issue a new invoice with just the new charges. In this case here, we'll just send an invoice with the new charges. Items, whether whole or partial, that were included in the previous unpaid invoice will also be displayed, but highlighted in yellow. We'll delete those line items in yellow, indicating that all or part of them were already sent on a previous invoice, and we'll continue with just the current invoice lines. Once we confirm the invoice and get back to the main screen, We'll see now 2 unpaid invoices appear on the far right of the ledger panel for debts that need to be collected. Changes to the bill book are saved with a new bill book page number, and selecting an earlier page number will display that previous version of the bill book, although we can only modify the current bill book version. Let's get back to the main screen. When a client pays an unpaid invoice, we enter that amount as income in the ledger. I'll click on New Record and select Income. It is possible that the second invoice will be paid first, so we'll select which invoice was paid, type in payment details like check number, and save to the ledger. There are 2 types of expenses that can be recorded in the ledger: materials or suppliers, and labor. Let's see how to record these expenses in the ledger. I'll click on New Record and select the Supplier/Materials button. I'll select the right date and double-click the Supplier Name field that will display all suppliers in the system. And I can select one from the list either by scrolling or typing. I'll also type in the check number 1310 and the amount $11,530 and save it. This expense is now displayed in the ledger, and the overall balance of the current project and company are updated. To enter labor costs into the ledger, I'll click New Record and select Workers' Labor. On this screen, I can focus on the date of the labor expense and see the weekday and the list of workers that are available for this date. If a worker was already recorded as labor on another project on this date, he will not be displayed in this list to avoid duplication errors. Selecting multiple workers is done by holding the Control and Shift keys and selecting another worker. I can select workers from the list and either drag them or click Move in order to move them to the labor table. After that, I'll click the Save All button and write those records to the ledger. That increases the date to the next day and clears the labor table, making it ready for me to record labor costs for another day. When finished, I'll close this window, which takes me back to the main screen, and we can see all these expenses displayed in the ledger. Let's get back to the bill book and add a change order. By checking the change order box, it becomes yellow and shows the next new change order number. We'll select a new line and click on the CO, or change order button, which creates the appropriate change order title. I'll add the work description and the amount $17,000 that includes both the contractor's cost and profit. After doing that, notice that the area at the top of the table turns pink to highlight this change order difference between the bill book and the project totals. We could balance this change order difference now, but let's first see how the change order is reflected on the main screen. I'll save the current bill book and get back to the main screen. Notice the red alert on the Ledger Info panel, pointing out the $17,000 difference between project and bill book totals. Now, I'll balance these amounts on the bill book screen by clicking the Balance button, adding this change order to the project's total price, and now both prices are equal. Now let's go back and see how to create a new project for a new job from scratch. Let's assume we have already done the hard work of estimating the costs of our proposed job. For example, getting bids from subcontractors, estimating materials costs, and accounting for labor costs. I'll start with a new proposal Type in the client name and edit the proposal. It opens with a list of items for convenience, but I'll clear them for this example. I'll fill in demolition, electric, plumbing, and finish work. We will also add the overhead like insurance, legal expenses, and gas. I'll add the profit margin percent in order to get the total cost for the customer, which includes the company's profit. And I can choose to round the final amount by tens or hundreds, etc. When done, I copy-paste the proposal items and amounts into a Word document version of the proposal and send to the customer. Then I'll save the proposal and get back to the main screen. At this point, I'm waiting for the customer to agree to this proposal. After the customer agrees to the proposal and signs the contract, we create a new project and save it. There is no need to fill in the contract size of the project. At this stage, the bill book is blank, except for some items populated for convenience. I could type the proposal items and amounts one by one into the bill book, but a better way is to attach the proposal to this project. To do that, I'll go back to the main screen, click the Proposals button, select the right proposal, and click the Attach to Project button. Select the right project, and click the Attach button. At this point, the proposal is attached to this project, but is not yet in the project's bill book. To create a bill book, I'll click the Project Details button, or double-click this project line, click the Proposal button, and then click the Create Bill Book button. Now the bill book contains all items and amounts from the proposal as per agreement with the client. I can now add a down payment of $1,000 on the bill book first line. And of course deduct this $1,000 from the next item so that the bill book and project prices remain balanced. I'll enter the progress percent as 100%. And issue the first invoice that includes this down payment. When this down payment is paid, I'll click the New Record button in the ledger area, select the Income button, fill in the check number or other payment type, and save it to the ledger. From here on, the project will be easily managed as we've seen previously in the video. Let's see how this project looks when its overall balance becomes negative. I'll type in a new ledger expense of $2,000 and save it. We can clearly see the red background color in the project's price and the ledger area, indicating a negative cash flow situation. This alerts the user that steps must be taken to collect money that is due. Completing a project only occurs when all the progress for the bill book items are recorded as 100%, and when the total income amount is equal to the project's price. This way, MasterBiz makes sure that all money was received and the entire work scope was finished. Only then can we declare the project finished. Let's complete the 001 John Thomas project from the bill book by recording 100% progress on all work items and creating the last invoice. Back on the main screen, we can see the project has this invoice amount to be collected as debt. I'll enter the project details and try to finish this project by selecting the finished status, but I get a message saying project status change is not allowed. Income amounts and project price are not balanced. I'll have to first wait until the last invoice is paid, click the New Record button, select the Income tab, fill in the check number or other payment type, and save it. Now I can click the Project Details button, select the Finish status, and save. This project is now finished, and the overall balance is the actual profit on this project, and we can now compare this actual profit with our estimated profit on the original proposal. I'll select Project Details, click the Proposal button, and compare the actual profit to the net margin profit amount. If they are different, I can try to track the ledger records to understand if a mistake was made. There are some other features that I want to show. An important piece of information is displayed in the months duration of the project, indicating the time in months that this project lasted. Invoices that were issued can be tracked when clicking on the Invoices button, and the actual PDF invoices can be seen from the Browse Docs menu by selecting Invoices. All work done by subcontractors and suppliers on all projects can be seen by clicking the Suppliers Account button. A total company income and expense report is displayed by clicking the Income/Expenses button. A summary profit and loss report by year is displayed by clicking on the Annual Report button. And finally, workers and suppliers are managed from the Tables menu. To add a new worker, I'll click the New button, fill in the worker's name and other details, most importantly, the daily wage, employer tax, insurance, and daily expenses. The total cost of the worker is calculated per day, week, and year. Notice that this is not a payroll system, and what interests us is the actual cost of each worker. After saving this worker, the total daily cost for the worker is displayed in the workers list. In conclusion, MasterBiz is an easy-to-use business management software designed especially for contractors, builders, and subcontractors and their businesses. While simple to use and requiring little time in front of the computer, it allows you to take full control of your business. Thank you for watching.